everybody, I'm Blue, and today we're gonna take a little break from gushing about OCs and characters and how cool they are to focus a little bit on the art process, because with this particular drawing, I really tried to branch out and do some new things. So that being said, I guess get ready to delve deep into the realm of Hades. So a quick overview, this is Charon from Hades. Hades is a game where you play as a prince of the realm of Hades trying to escape to the surface. And really that's all you need to know. It's some cool repackaging of Greek mythology recontextualized to fit the story better. And they do an excellent job of that. But with Charon specifically, they did a lot of tiny detail work that made me spend way too long doing these gosh dang roughs. I'm really bad about doing my roughs to the point that they almost look like the completed drawing, and it's something I'm trying to wean myself away from, but whenever I see a super detailed design like Charon, I kinda get stuck in all the tiny details and end up doing it regardless. Which didn't help when I was really wanting to focus on doing cool, in-depth line art, really focusing on how those shapes work together and using the line art as an emphasis for the piece itself, instead of colors. But here's the thing, guys, I love colors so much. And when I look at Charon's design, the one thing that always captures me is that eye. It is so cool, and with the smoke and the fog, yeah, no, I'm doing colors on this, sorry. But what can I do to still challenge myself, still make this the attempt at something new that I had originally wanted with this? And what conclusion I came to was to do very limited color palette, or specifically, only using the colors found in the realm of Tartarus in the game. I felt Tartarus just kind of matched the colors closer, and it did end up proving to be quite the challenge for me to try to find areas on the map so specifically close to what his colors are without matching them exactly. His primary color palette is a lot of black and gold, back and forth, so trying to find ways to do that with the green. I normally go with a violet or a dark blue whenever I'm doing, quote-unquote black colors, but I do think that the green is really sharp, even if it's not quite as dark. And where I am fairly accustomed to sort of the cell shade block shading that I'm using here, it still was different to try to really emphasize getting the curves and the shapes of all of the jewelry to try to make them shine, since I didn't have those bright highlights to use. And overall, just kind of going in and filling in the space and making sure that everything laid correctly. Even though I wasn't going to put as much of an emphasis on the line art now, I still wanted to make sure the lines held a stronger role in the piece than what I normally assign it. And you know what? If I'm doing a challenge, there is nothing more challenging than forcing myself to draw a background. This isn't anything too terribly complex, but I did want to take these sort of tiles that you see on the floor and try to recreate them. But then, when I was color picking, I noticed the strange splotches on the floor. I've seen those colors before. I know that those belong in Elysium. So I took what it looks in the original art as just kind of vague splatters and turned it into the moss from Elysium, covering little bits and corners of the tile without going too far. And then it was time. It was time to do all of the coins over and over and over again, drawing each little corner, copying and pasting, or drawing from scratch, whatever it took. But I did it, all of those tiny little things all over the place, because you cannot have Charon without his Obols, counting them at the end of a long day of work. But despite this being a lot of ideas and things that transitioned and moved and changed over time, I really enjoy the atmosphere I managed to capture in this one. And I hope you do too. In fact, I liked this one so much, I think I'm going to do a similar sort of challenge for each realm in the Hades game, and do a different character assigned to each one. I know I'm hitting all the chthonic siblings, that being Charon, Hypnos, and Thanatos, but for the remaining ones, I'm not as sold. If you have an idea of who to do for which territory of Hades, let me know. And that being said, make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see whenever I upload the next one of these. See ya!